Why Tesla? Why? Directly from the horse's mouth, it's important that we communicate transparently that there is no refresh for the Tesla Model Y launching this year. This seems like a legit statement because a copy of this Tesla email was obtained by Drive Tesla, and if you think this was initially related to the North American market only and Tesla China could start producing before the US, think again, because you may recall the newly refreshed Tesla Model 3 somewhat had a similar experience with it being released in mainland China and Europe a full quarter ahead of North American markets. So is there even an inkling of hope that this could happen here with the upgraded Model Y? Well, Tesla China officially quickly dashed them hopes too, as according to a Chinese news outlet, CLS, Tesla China also reiterated that there is no plans to release a new Model Y this year in mainland China either. So Adam, what does this mean for those holding out for an upgraded Model Y in 2024? Is it truly worth waiting for the refreshed Model Y? Will this affect my next purchase? And finally, I think there's a narrative not being discussed by this communication. History could be repeating itself. Well, I'd love to share this thought and see if Tesla have a cheeky trick up their sleeve. So if you want to hear all of that, let's deep dive into the video. But before I do that, I'd appreciate if you could just drop me a cheeky like, subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Let's start discussing the implications. First up, why was there even hype about 2024 being the year of the upgraded Model Y in the first place? Well, when the upgraded Model 3 lost its baby fat look and upgraded the interior and driving experience after such a positive reception, it was only a matter of time before its SUV sibling would then receive the spotlight and attention shifted to when would the Model Y get an upgrade like this? After all, the original Model 3 and Model Y shared near 70% of parts at one point. But the rumourville really went wild at the start of December when Bloomberg published an exclusive report stating production could start from mid-2024. And some of you even recall that I shared this article myself. However, I was much more hesitant than the prediction, considering that we had yet to see any Model Y prototypes in the wild, and Model 3 had dozens of them over the span of a few months leading up to its release. That and Bloomberg has historically been wrong on Tesla reports before. It still led to an interesting conversation, and they weren't the only media organisation indicating a 2024 delivery window since. My main thesis, if a 2024 release materialises, it will be purely for the fact that Tesla, like any cost-conscious business, just want the lowest cost of production it possibly can get. When the new Model 3 changed over 50% of its own parts for the refresh, well, I guess the sharing ratio is not where it once was. Therefore, that temptation to upgrade the production lines to increase the shared parts again must be staring Tesla in the face right now. That and a Model Y refresh has really gathered quite a demand appetite because of the hype the Model 3 has garnered. So if it doesn't happen in 24, as Tesla have detailed in the comments mentioned earlier, what are your Tesla EV options and could Tesla just be misleading us? I do have a serious suspicion this comms isn't what it seems, but I'll explore that in just a moment for one reason or another. But if Tesla have officially said no to a refresh Model Y, that may well be true. They just released the Cybertruck just a few months ago and the Model 3 refresh around 3 months ago. And whilst the hype for the Model Y refresh is real, we perhaps do need to get our expectations into shape. Tesla officially retails the sexy lineup and now the Cybertruck, so 33% of its lineup is either new or refreshed. How many automakers would then introduce or refresh 50% of our lineup in a year? If I'm being a devil's advocate and just really evaluating the comms here, Tesla may well be right in saying that there is no better time to buy a Tesla Model Y. I mean, it now comes with the hardware for a suite of cameras. If you live in the US, you get an extra $1,000 off in February, plus they now have that point of sale tax credits if you do qualify for it. Free FSD transfers and transfer of the lifetime supercharging for North American markets only. And if you're in the UK/EU based, there's currently advantageous lease deals and interest rate offers to take advantage of. Therefore, with all these sales incentives to take advantage of, Tesla is 100% right today. There is nothing materially wrong with the Model Y, probably why it's the world's best-selling car for the value that it offers today. I mean, if the hype of the refresh Model Y has got you on the refresh waiting list based on the new Model 3, I've come to the conclusion that you really have just two options, okay, maybe three. The first being you can take advantage of one of these lease/finance offers for 2 to 3 years, and that gives plenty of time for an upgraded Model Y to be a thing. As I can bet you when it is finally released, the finance terms are not going to be advantageous as they are today. So that can play out as production takes off, The reason I suspect first deliveries will have high rates, just look at the new Model 3. Here in the UK it's at 9%, when previously this was around 4.9%, before they were selling the old legacy stock at that 0% APR level. Plus, you just don't know if any government incentives will exist whenever you are ready to buy, whereas they are available today, but you do run the risk that they can be pulled at any time. The second option is just to buy the Model 3 if you like it so much. I guess the biggest trade-off is practicality, utility and space. If you can sacrifice that, then the Model 3 could be a suitable option. The third is my less favourite. However, it will play into my alternative Tesla take on the recent Tesla comms, for which I'm going to discuss now. I think we have to seriously consider, is Tesla's word on the refresh to be taken seriously? And I fully believe the Model Y refresh is not something that will be available until the very earliest of Q3 2024, but more so Q3 2024 if it is going to happen in 2024. And I'm not saying that right now. But if it does, there's going to be signs that it's coming, such as insider reports and prototype sightings as we had with the Model 3. So months in advance, we should kind of get some indication that something is brewing. We're not getting that at the moment. However, getting back to the point, remember when the Model 3 refresh was being rumoured prior to release? Tesla released multiple statements also stating that there was no refreshing coming, because as soon as consumers get confirmation of a new model, most of us don't want that current model for the fear of it just being outdated. You may hear this as the Osborne effect. Tesla would be Osborning themselves here, which would then probably mean Tesla discounting and introducing pricing incentives to shift current stock until the refresh is then made available, which is not going to be good for Tesla's business model. Therefore, Tesla has to bring everyone back to the position of it's not coming out anytime soon, so we must continue to buy the Model Y today. And as I just said, Tesla have done this before, and so they could have done it here again maybe. Can we really tell? Not really, but there doesn't seem to be any indication apart from just anticipation and hype that the refresh Model Y is imminent. There is no concrete evidence, sadly. It is more than likely to be the end of the year if it is going to be a thing, and if so, there will be signs, just like there was with the Model 3 refresh. But until we get confirmation, the Model Y today has all these incentives, and there are no guarantees that these are going to be ran in the next quarter. After all, in the US, the Model Y has a $1,000 price cut, and that is already known to just be temporary and just for February. So whether you believe Tesla or not that the refreshed Tesla Model Y is not heading into a showroom near you in 2024, they are absolutely true about one thing. With the plentiful of offers to take advantage of today, combined with the hardware for a suite of cameras, there probably is no better time to buy or lease a Model Y than today. Sadly, we have no concrete evidence when the Tesla Model Y refresh will finally become a reality. This latest Tesla communication does seem to suggest that this is not a near-term occurrence, but there are no guarantees for a super late 2024 dash. We may get indication or reports closer to the time, but for now, I really would take Tesla for their word. Which leaves you with buying the Tesla Model Y or even the refreshed Model 3 if you want the most up-to-date vehicle that you can buy this year. That or the Cybertruck if you can actually get your hands on one. But long story short, I think for now, the Model Y refresh is going to be a bit of a distant possibility. But you bet I'll be keeping tabs with the latest reports and rumours, and if there is any substantial movement, I'll probably update you as and when with another video. So what do you folks think? Did this video shift your expectation on the release of the Tesla Model Y refresh? Are you now considering a new Model 3 as a result? Or are you going to take advantage of some of the sale incentives on the current Tesla Model Y? If you want to let me know you got this far in the video, you can drop me the comment, Elon said 2 weeks, and I'll give you a cheeky thumbs up for sticking to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share the video with your friends and family. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.